Hey Nick, here's our first session, and you will have noticed from my email that I said we should work on your major thing, which was getting Nixter and Thumbman to look more 3D, because that really that's the basis of everything else. You know, the other things that you want to focus on are much more cosmetic and less fundamental. So definitely I'm here for the 3D change. And I thought we could dive in and start with Thumbman. So I've picked up this one, the tour guide one, because it's got a nice full body look and it's actually the perfect one to start off with. And what I want to do is I just thought I'm going to draw my way through and see how I would draw him. And then you can see if you can adapt, maybe come up with a kind of a process. I'm sure you've got a process of drawing him, but just look at how I draw him and see whether that is easy to incorporate the changes that we need into the way you draw him. So, circly circles are everything. So I start with a circly circle like this for his head at the top, even though he's a thumb shape, because I want to give him a little bit of attitude. So I'm going to create the top of the thumb like that. And then I actually want to bend him a little bit like this, because that's kind of how thumbs look. And then we need to get these curves. The 3D-ness comes from curves. So if we curve his belt around his waist like this, when we're sketching, then we immediately start to create that 3D look. And then, of course, we know about the crosshairs here. So if we want to put his face on like this, we can put the crosshairs on. And you see I'm putting a little bend and curve on each crosshair as well. And then I can put in his eyes like this. And his nose comes in. And then his mouth can go in here further down. One ear on this side, and we won't really see that ear, so I'm going to leave it off for now. And then if we get down to his rump, let's just imagine he's got kind of that curve at the base of the thumb. So we're going to give him that, and then imagine a little wrinkle, and again curve the bottom of his closest part of his shorts. And then what we can do is take this side and do this slight curve there. So we've got a little bit of a sense of not overlapping, but curving of each short leg, and then going in like this. So straight away we're giving him more 3D-ness because his legs aren't completely straight and next to each other. So we can give him his little knobbly knees like this. And we can come back and kind of rub out the lines that we don't need at the end. And then what I'm going to do is just quickly pick this up and move him up a little bit. Then if we go to here, and then with these, if we just put a long kind of oval like this for his foot, and then I can go in and I can kind of sculpt out the shape that I want. So if we want the shape like this, like that for this foot, and put the crisscrosses on like this. And then for the foot behind, maybe his foot would be slightly lifted at the back there to be able to see it like that. And we imagine his ankles going in like that, his foot fitting into the shoe. And then his arms. So I did mention to you that I think his arms need a little bit of help. So if we bring his arms like this, and keep them a little bit wider at the top, or we can keep them the same width all the way down, we can start creating the gloves, but that's not our focus for the week. So we'll just put a rough something for the gloves on and do his other arm like this. Okay, and imagine he's got the Bay St. Louis sign behind him like this. And here goes the horizon line behind. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I haven't focused at all yet on his on the thumbprint, because that's not so important at the moment. So all we want to do here is get him rounder. And the main thing is going to come from the curves. So the curving of the crosshairs to place his features, like this, and the curving of his belt around his belly, and the curving of the bottom of his shorts, like that. And once you get that curving going on, and a slight asymmetrical stance like this for his feet most of the time, you're going to have a lot of the work done for you. If you feel like his head's not wide enough or something at the top, you can always go in with a bigger circle to start with. But a curve like this to his back is just gives him a little bit of attitude. You can see he's got a little bit of swag going on there with his stance, hip out a little bit, knees bent. So that is what I would suggest you do, is draw him over and over this week, with this kind of starting with a nice big circle for the top of the thumb, and then the curved lines coming down, curved for his belt, curved for the bottom of each of those, big ovals for the shoes to start off with, and then you see we can kind of just carve off the bits that we don't need and fix them all up. So that is Thumbman. And I'm kind of feeling like his head is a bit too narrow at the top there, so you can just broaden it out, and then we can clean it up like this. Oops, erase. So we can just go in and clean up, and don't worry with outlining him at this stage. Just go in and sketch and sketch and sketch. So if you can do him, like sketch him a couple of times a day, quick speed sketch like this. Even if you sketch your way through all the poses that you've got in your favorite pictures that you've sent me, let's just start getting him nice and round.